Yo, what's poppin'? It's the Hyphenate, and today I'm gonna give you guys a tour of my new dream music studio. Now, I know I've done some before, but I have some new upgrades now that make this completely my dream music studio, especially now having a professional audio recording booth. So I recently released a video doing an overview of my new studio, but I didn't go over the specific gear that I use. So in this video, we're gonna go over in detail all the gear that I use for my music studio. So this is the Gold Series booth. It's about 4 feet by 6 feet, so it has a lot of room, and it also includes the ventilation system so it doesn't get hot, you don't suffocate in there. And here you can see on my door, I put the office. I put this little placard here because I love to show the office. I'm like, when I want to go record, let's step into the office. So let's go ahead and check it out. One of my favorite things is the window, which is perfectly positioned so I'm able to see my computer. In case I'm recording myself, I can easily be in here with the wireless keyboard and mouse and controlling my computer while I record. Or if I'm there and I have an artist in here, I can easily see them. We can communicate very easily through an audio interface that I'll go over in a bit. But in here, again, spacious. I have the DR Pro mic stand here that has the boom arm, and I'm using my favorite recording microphone, which is the AEA KU5A. It's a dark ribbon microphone that runs off phantom power. And here I have it positioned in a way where I don't have anything in the way of my hands. So if I'm performing and I'm being very dynamic, I have a lot of freedom here to be able to deliver while making sure that my mouth is pointing directly at the microphone, and it's very easy to adjust the height. So with this vocal booth, each wall has this little opening here where you can actually run cables through. So this allows me to have the XLR cable as well as a headphone cable here. So that way I don't have to run any cables at any point. Put the headphones on, connect the cable down there, go ahead and turn on my phantom power from my audio interface, and I'm ready to go. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about all the gear back here. Now, this is a desk that I've had since 2008, and it's held up incredibly well. I actually got it from IKEA, and I love that it's modular, so I'm able to really customize the shelves, the height, everything to be exactly how I want it to be. Now, one of my favorite movies of all time is the movie Blade with Wesley Snipes. It's a Marvel movie from 1998, still holds up to this day, highly recommend it. I actually got myself a replica Blade sword, which is here at the top. And this thing just lets people know that we're about to kill it anytime we're in here. So even though I have a recording booth, which allows me to get very clean audio, I actually need my space to also be acoustically treated so I can mix and master. And as an audio engineer, I need to have a very clean, dead room. So I have acoustic panels all around. I have some made from RLX as well as Ultimate Acoustics. I have them all around. Bass trap. I have these panels here, this panel, different foam wedges. It's functional, but also looks really dope. All right, so let's go over all the gear that's on the desk. First things first is I actually have this monitor. It's actually a computer monitor made by ASUS. It's an HDMI 2.1 4K 43-inch monitor. At the time that I got it last year, it was the only one this size, HDMI 2.1, which allows me to do 120 hertz on my computers. And it's actually mounted onto the wall with an articulating arm. And as you can see, it's actually tilted down. And that's because when I'm actually working on here, I actually am on a recliner chair when I'm editing or mixing. Now, when I'm making beats, I am actually on a chair here, sitting down on the keyboard. Underneath here, I have an incredible sign that was made by Tony Pham. I love this. It was gifted to me by my friend Marty Maurice. One of my favorite things in this studio. Now you see here these 2M audio speakers. These are actually my first audio monitors. They're not very good, they're very old, and they're actually not even supposed to be positioned horizontally. All audio monitors are either designed to be vertical or horizontal. You're not supposed to change the orientation, so these are supposed to be vertical, but I actually have them here, not really for function, more just for the aesthetics, for it to really kind of just tie in and fill up some space. But these actually are to a very old computer that I have here. Now this old computer, I made a lot of beats, and it's actually a Hackintosh that has the Mac system, and I would use Logic Pro to make my beats before. Now I use Cubase on a PC. But before, I made a lot of beats on there, a lot of songs are on there, and on occasion there's some unfinished beats that I like to bring out or use for future beats or to get some audio files from old songs. So I still have it here, don't really use it much, it's just really to kind of tap into some old files. But these audio monitors are connected to an M-Box there as my audio interface for that. So again, these are not really functional for mixing in that position, but it's just so I can hear whatever I'm pulling out of this computer on rare occasion. Now this is my primary video, audio, and design computer. It's an MSI Trident, and I'm actually running Cubase Pro as my DAW to make all my beats and mix all my music. And also as a filmmaker, I do all my heavy video editing using DaVinci Resolve with that computer and all my heavy Photoshop or Lightroom work on that computer as well. Now, my main audio interface for audio production is the Audient ID44 Mark II. This thing is a beast. It has so many options. Not only does it have incredibly clean audio preamps, but it also has insert send, so I can use analog outboard gear, such as my Clark Technic 1176 compressor. This thing is incredible. It emulates the Universal Audio 1176 compressor, which is iconic, legendary, and has a beautiful, warm sound. So with this audio interface, it powers my microphone, sends that signal to the compressor, and then that sends a signal back into my audio interface into my DAW. The Audient ID44 Mark II also has a loop back feature, which allows me to easily send any of the audio directly to OBS. So if I'm doing any tutorial videos or any videos using OBS live streaming, all the sound that you hear in the computer, including my DAW when I'm making music, mixing music, etc., it's all being heard also through OBS. Audio interfaces that don't have a loopback feature actually can't send the audio to OBS. And another great feature is that it does have a talkback function, so I'm able to use a microphone to communicate to whoever's in the vocal booth, because with the vocal booth, they can't really hear me out here. So that talkback feature, again, something that's very essential in my studio. Now, my favorite MIDI keyboard, what I think is one of the most intuitive MIDI keyboards, is the Native Instruments Complete Control Mark II. This is the 49 key version. This allows me to easily cycle through all my sounds directly on here when I'm in my DAW. So I can dial in, preview, make all types of adjustments directly with this controller. It just enhances my workflow by allowing me to work faster. This thing also looks really dope. Now on my desk, I also have the Rode Rodecaster Pro 2, which is my favorite podcasting interface. This thing has built-in effects like EQs, compressors, reverb. It can be used in multiple computers with 2 USB ports or a phone, a tablet. You're able to do so much with live streaming, podcasting, and I actually have 2 of these in my studio. One of them is in my podcast setup, the other one is here. So I actually have this set as my audio interface for this computer here, which is actually a laptop made by MSI. So the sound that comes from here goes to that as my audio interface, and then the sound from this audio interface goes out into these big Harbinger speakers. Now these are 15-inch PA speakers, essentially more for shows or concerts, events. They're not really made for mixing. They're really just here to play music or, again, to run sound off of this laptop. But this laptop is not my heavy intensive computer. This is more for simple projects or quicker productions that are not being done on this computer. And then the great thing about having these 2 computers here, they both run a graphics card that actually allows me to have HDMI 2.1, again, going to this here, giving me 120 hertz. So they each have their own interface. And this one here, I also will use more for live streaming, which works great for that interface. Now my favorite keyboard and mouse is made by Logitech. They have the MX series. Both of these, the mouse and the keyboard, can actually connect to 3 computers, and you actually just choose 1, 2, or 3 to be able to control that computer. So I actually have this running on my Hackintosh, on my MSI Trident computer, and my MSI laptop. Minimizes clutter and also works extremely well. Low profile, very responsive, and very clean. Now my main audio monitors for mixing music are the Yamaha HS8. These things are so clean. Very flat frequency response, very little noise, and they bump. I do have some absorption pads here so they can minimize any vibrations or extra sound from the rumble. And then I have them on these very professional, clean Argosy audio monitor stands. These are made specifically for audio monitors. Now in the back corners, you can see that I have some LED lights pointing directly upwards into the corners, illuminating those RLX panels. Those are GVM 850 lights. They are very affordable, very lightweight, and I can control them with an app, which is my favorite part about them. So I can easily just put whatever color I want, though again, my purple, my blue. And speaking of lights, this light that goes around my desk is actually a Govee rope light, which I love. It's about 10 feet and it's perfect for my setup. And through the app, you can choose whatever color you want and different effects. I actually have it set to react to sound. So it has a little microphone in the controller down there. So as you can see, it's reactive to the sound, and I chose the color specifically that I wanted, which again, my purple, turquoise, blue colors. So there you guys have it. That is my new dream music studio Man, I'm so excited. I know I did a video not that long ago about my dream music studio, but now it has upgraded and it pretty much has everything that I could ever want. I've worked really hard on this over a course of many, many years. My first studio wasn't even a studio. I was literally just working out of my room with a microphone, a cheap microphone, taped to a box that was on top of a little TV dinner table. And I just had a regular little earbuds and these cheap speakers, were computer speakers, not even audio monitors, just these really cheap stuff. And man, I worked so hard, little by little, accumulating to the next piece of gear, the next piece of gear. It's been a really long journey to get this studio to be where it's at now. But it all started by just moving little by little. Slow motion, better than no motion. And now I'm here ready to create and pump out so many videos, so much music. And hopefully you guys are subscribed to the channel so you guys can check those out. Also, if you guys are interested in any of the gear that I use, I do have links in the description where you can purchase them. It doesn't change the price that you get it at, but it does help this channel. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It means the world to me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.